helpful critiques, ideas, great stories, people we should know, the great bar in your town, the fish fry you want to know, the fish boil, anything that you want to reach out to us with. We are happy. We are here. You can be the inputters. We're here to listen.
Shut up and sit down.
Back on Inside Wisconsin after our visit with the Packers GM. And I guess there's always now the debrief of what we heard or what you saw. And I don't know, maybe there's value in to go, hey, did you want to punch Aaron Rodgers in the face? I just don't know that you get an answer to that question that is anything that's worth it. And by the way, I don't know that anybody cares because that's more of a personal assessment right now, right? People either want to praise Aaron for being here. They either want to, gritch at him because he put them through stuff during the summer and whatever. But listen, those are hard jobs, and no one is ever going to like everything that you do in that, unless you win the Super Bowl, in which case you get about a 4-day reprieve. And then they're going to go, oh, wait, let's go into the draft. Who are you going to take now?
What have you done for me lately or yesterday, like you just said? And he mentioned that. It's unheard of in the National Football League to be someplace for over 20 years like he has been. We're lucky to have him, man. That was a great interview. He's clearly good at his job. I mean, 2 NFC championships back to back. He's got a Super Bowl ring in his time with the Packers. It'll be fun to watch. Yeah, and listen, they've found people in there that could play that's a credit to his job and his staff and his roots as a scout to find. And then, like everything, right? You miss people. I hate to pound on one of our own. But when they drafted Jamon Moore, when they had that run, they drafted him and MVS and St. Brown, all in that same draft, right? They went like 4, 5, 6. And my buddies are like back home, oh, they drafted the Missouri guy. What do you think of Jamon Moore? And I said, I think he is unbelievably talented. The only problem they have is he can't catch. And they're like, what do you? And I'm like, and I'm often baffled, right? Because I'm like, you got all these scouts, you got all the things. All you had to do is call me, and I'll go, listen, he looks great, but I'm telling you, he's going to drop passes, and he'll drop enough passes that he's going to annoy his quarterback. Whether it is Aaron Rodgers, whomever else is in that job, it's going to be a problem. And lo and behold, what happened? Like, he was Jamon Moore, and then they're like, well, did Missouri not try? Like, no, they had him for 4 years. They tried to make him catch better. That was on their list. They didn't just go, hey, this is great. We can live with this because he's big. But there's limited people. So he started and he got a lot of chances and he'd make unbelievable catches. And then the 2-yard out gone through. So I'm always amazed at some of that stuff that they've got these people, right? They've got R&D like you wouldn't believe. And they've got all this stuff. And I'm like, all you had to do is call me. You got my number. And I'll tell you. Clearly he has your address too. Nice jersey. Anyway, hey, out of curiosity, we should have asked him this. I bet you know. If a baseball player is having a bang up season at 300, what about a general manager in the National Football League? How many does he have to get right versus just batting 300?
Yeah, you have to bat really well, I think, on first round picks.
Sure.
But it's amazing that I think how you find any more rounds 5, 6, and 7, which is where you really flesh out the team. And that's where you got to find guys that, either are really good that are surprise, or can that guy grow while I put him on kickoffs and field goal team and punt returns for 2 years until he looks the part now, but can actually play the part. And with only, those 50 dudes, 50 plus, and the Hexy squad, like you can't miss on many. Otherwise, you're the Jaguars, or whomever. And the Packers he mentioned some of the guys that he had with Tanya. Well, there's a whole list of those guys through the years, and it's not just the back end guys in the draft. It's how do you come in and make the Smith brothers are decent signings, right? Because quite frankly, if the Packers sign a free agent anymore, especially of one of note that makes any kind of money at all, that's an unusual situation. So you're like, okay, can't miss on those guys. There aren't a lot of spots to miss.
Yeah.
And you and I have talked about this before with the Jordan Love pick. Like, if this somehow becomes rainbow and unicorns and seashells, and Aaron Rodgers says, nope, I want to be here, I'm going to play out the string, and the Packers go, we can do that till he's 40 and 41, and you end up having to trade off Love, and you go, wow, and you get a 3rd round pick for him. You're like, was that a horrible pick? I don't know. Guy maybe never sees the field, and you get back a third instead of a first, or the longer it goes, maybe it's a fifth fifth instead of a first. But if you've inspired your guy, or if somehow that has motivated, that somehow that has been a touchstone and an instigator to drive them to this kind of success, well, then was the pick wasted or not? You know,
I was going to say, is Aaron Rodgers the MVP last year if they don't pick Jordan Love?
Yeah, I don't know. And I think Aaron probably would say, no, that was not it. That was me. I was dedicated, and here it is. But, that's intrinsic. I think everybody from the outside would make the opinion that, I think somehow that perhaps that was a bit of a push. But, it's a unique position. I'm with you. I think what do you bat in terms of 300 or whatever it is you go look at what's the record. And you said you've gone to the NFC Championship game a couple of times, and so I would think that batting average is pretty high.
Yeah,
in what he's got, but you also don't get to figure that out right until it's 2 or 3 years down the road, right? Where are you right now on Gary? Right, like he looks like he's set to explode. Yeah, and if that's the case, year 3, right? He's in his 3rd year.
Yeah,
then that's a bang up pick.
Right. Reminds you of Clay Matthews a little bit.
Well, that guy came in and stormed from the beginning. Don't you think?
Was he smashed right in the beginning, or was it a year or two in?
Yeah, he was pretty good right from the top. But you can't often tell. That's the hard part. We had guys on the other night, Brian Greasy and Louis Riddick, in the wake of the Jaguars Saints game, and I said about Trevor Lawrence, I said, here's a guy who's clearly talented. He's shown that, but he's on a really horrible team right now that can't protect him, and he's playing against the Saints, who are much better than the other. Like, how do I know that guy's getting better? How can I tell? Because I looked at his number, and you're like, okay, you were 7 of 11, or what? I think in this case he through 20 some passes and he completed 13. Like, how do I know that guy's getting better? And I think that's the problem with Jordan Love or any quarterback in this situation. You're like, okay, and they see him every day in the practice field, so they know. But you're like, how do I know he's getting better? And he goes in and he plays the other night, his first game. And you looked at all the guys they held out, and you're like, all right, so he's not playing with the ones, many of them. How do you know that guy's getting better? Clearly they might know, because they saw that with Aaron Rodgers, right? They saw him every day in practice. He got to play that one extended time against the Cowboys after, if you recall, early on in his career. But like, how do you know that guy's going to be the guy? But, it's the case. But my dad, by the way, was mad at Ted Thompson for years. And every time Aaron would throw a touchdown pass or go to a Pro Bowl or win the Super Bowl, you're like, Dad, are you okay? And that was finally what he said. He finally just said, if they had just told us Aaron Rodgers was going to be this good, I wouldn't have had to be mad. Which is how a lot of people felt about Favre, right? If they had just told us Aaron Rodgers was going to be this good, then it's okay. So that's my hope someday down the road, that people will go, if they had just told us Jordan Love was going to be this good, we wouldn't have had to sweat about the Aaron Rodgers thing. I wouldn't have had to I wouldn't have to keep talking you off the ledge about this is how the franchise has to operate.
It was a rough summer. Yeah.
And you're right. And you would be better, right? And the kids wouldn't go hide when Dad's coming down because, oh, look, there's number 10 on the TV again.
Shut up and sit down.